See, when I die, I want people to be like, she was a legend at that hair shit. And I want my daughter to be like, my mother was that on the head tip, period.
On December 19th, 2019, a Baltimore court granted Destiny Harrison a peace order. That is the legal document that tells someone, by force of law, to stay away from you and away from your business. Destiny had walked into that court and told the commissioner plainly that she was scared for her life and her business. She was someone who had already been held down and beaten inside her own salon 12 days earlier, had her inventory stolen, and had then done every single thing the system asks a victim to do in response. She had reported it to the police that same day, as well as naming both people responsible by name. She even pressed criminal charges for assault, theft, and burglary against both of them. And now she had this court order, the court's formal response to everything she had put on record, stating that the man she had accused was legally prohibited from coming anywhere near her or her business again. Little did she know that these accusations would end up costing more than just her business. 2 days after that order was granted, on the evening of December 21st, 2019, someone walked into Madam D Beauty Bar at 241 North Milton Avenue in East Baltimore. Destiny was working. She had clients in the salon. Her 18-month-old daughter, Dream, was in the room with her. At 6:12 in the evening, a single shot was fired. Destiny Harrison was hit once in the head at close range and died at the scene.
21-year-old salon owner murdered in her own shop over the weekend. Tonight, we learned that she was afraid for her life.
The shooter walked out and was never seen again. As of March 2026, more than 6 years after that December evening, nobody has ever been arrested or charged with the murder of Destiny Harrison. The case is classified as a cold case by the Baltimore Police Department's homicide unit. The salon is permanently closed. The person who walked through that door has never been publicly identified. And Destiny's mother, Raquel Harrison Jones, is still doing interviews with local news stations, still asking the same question she has been asking since December 21st, 2019. If you know something, please come forward. Who was Destiny Harrison, and what had she built in East Baltimore before that night? What happened in the 12 days between the robbery and the murder? And how does a woman who did everything right end up shot dead in her own salon 2 days after a court order was supposed to protect her?
Hi, everybody. It's your mommy. Mommy, I'm tired. Mommy tired. And 7 old. Mommy, look, what does that say? Mommy, and 7 old. Mommy.
I don't even be on no cock and shit, but I got more money than a lot of you broke ass bitches out here.
Destiny Deshaw Harrison was born on April 16, 1998, and she grew up in Baltimore with an ambition that showed up early and never softened. Her mother, Raquel Harrison Jones, described her to reporters as a perfect child growing up. So loving, so kind, always wanting to help other people, always wanting to give back to the community she was part of. Those qualities did not disappear when she became an adult. They channeled themselves into everything she was building. By her late teens, Destiny had earned her cosmetology license and opened Madam D Beauty Bar at 241 North Milton Avenue in East Baltimore. The salon specialized in high-end hair extensions and weaves, and she built a client list that included local celebrities and influencers, establishing a reputation that extended beyond the immediate neighborhood and made her what Raquel described as a face in Baltimore's beauty scene. Her mother called her innovative, smart, and beautiful, saying it the way people say things about someone they watched build something real from scratch and felt genuine pride watching it happen.
Destiny just was a sweet person. She was ambitious. She just wanted to do what she loved. She wanted to do hair and be a mother.
She was also a single mother.
Mommy pretty thing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on. Oh, take a bite. Take a bite. Yay, take a bite. Yay. Woo. Go take a bite. Go take a bite. Stand up, stand up, stand up, yay! Yay, take a bite, go take a, ooh, uh-oh, see, uh-oh. Come on, one more time.
Dream was born in 2018, and Destiny had organized her entire working life around what she was building for her daughter. The salon was the mechanism of motherhood, the thing that was supposed to give Dream a better start than the neighborhood alone would provide. She occasionally promoted her private and business life through her now memorialized Instagram account. Destiny brought Dream to the salon with her because single mothers running their own businesses do not separate those two parts of their lives. They occupy the same space, and you build both simultaneously or not at all. That the two of them were together in that salon on December 21st was simply the ordinary arrangement of Destiny's ordinary working life. To run a business in that part of East Baltimore, to stay open and grow a client base and maintain a reputation, required navigating the particular difficulty of operating in a high-crime neighborhood, where the surrounding environment created obstacles that businesses in other parts of the city simply did not face. Destiny was doing it anyway, with the focused stubbornness of someone who had decided that the neighborhood she was in was not going to be the ceiling of what she was capable of. She had never accepted that what was around her got to determine what happened to her, and that refusal, the same refusal that had built Madam D Beauty Bar from nothing, was also what drove her to do something in December of 2019 that most people in her position would have thought twice about. Because when two people from her own neighborhood decided to take what she had built, Destiny Harrison did not stay quiet. And that decision to fight back through the system is what set the next 12 days in motion. On December 9th, 2019, Destiny caught a man and a woman who lived nearby breaking into the back of Madam D Beauty Bar. These were not strangers who had picked her salon at random. They were people from the same block, faces she recognized from the street where she had built her business. What they took was approximately $3,000 worth of hair extensions, the high-end inventory that her entire service model was built around, a product that was expensive to source and central to what her clients came for. They did not just take it and leave. One of them held Destiny down while the other hit her and stomped on her inside her own salon. She went to the police the same day. She identified both suspects by name, gave investigators everything they needed to proceed, and pressed criminal charges against both for assault, theft, and burglary against both of them. Then she went back to court to apply for a peace order against the male suspect. She told the court commissioner directly that she was scared for her life and her business. She understood what pressing charges against your neighbors in that kind of community could invite. She chose to do it anyway, because she had been beaten in her own salon and she was not prepared to absorb that silently and move on. Destiny was someone who did everything right. She could have avoided reporting to the police entirely, but she wanted to do right by the process of the law, and she fully trusted the police. She had the police report, the criminal charges, and on December 19th, the court order telling the suspect to stay away from her and from her salon. On paper, she was as protected as the system knew how to make her. What happened next is the part that has never left Raquel Harrison and has never left Baltimore since the night it happened. December 21st was a Saturday in the middle of the holiday season, one of the busiest appointment days a hair salon sees all year. Clients were coming in for Christmas gatherings and family visits and the celebrations that pile up at the end of December, and Destiny was working through a full afternoon of appointments. Dream was with her in the salon, the way she was on many working days. At 6:12 in the evening, a few moments later, the unidentified person suddenly pulled out a gun and aimed it at Destiny Harrison. Before she had the chance to beg for her life, the person pulled the trigger and the bullet hit her once in the head at close range. She was rushed to the hospital and pronounced dead. The shooter left on foot and was gone before Baltimore police arrived. No one else was physically hurt. Dream, 18 months old, was in that room. The clients who had booked holiday appointments were witnesses to a murder in a hair salon on North Milton Avenue. And the person responsible walked back out into East Baltimore and more than 6 years later has still not been held accountable for it. The Baltimore police arrived quickly, and for a moment it seemed like the case had an obvious starting point. What investigators found when they started pulling on that thread is what made the Destiny Harrison case one of Baltimore's most quietly devastating unsolved murders. The investigation moved immediately toward the most obvious place it had to start: the robbery 12 days earlier and the two neighbors Destiny had pressed charges against. The timeline was not ambiguous. She had been assaulted on December 9th, named her attackers, obtained a court order on December 19th, told a court official she feared for her life, and had been shot dead on December 21st, 2 days after the court order was signed. Police moved toward that connection immediately, and it remained the primary line of inquiry throughout. The prevailing belief among investigators and Destiny's family, supported entirely by the timing and the absence of any other apparent motive, was that the murder was retaliation for her reporting the robbery and pressing charges against people who had expected her to stay quiet. Neither of the two people she had charged was ever formally linked to the shooting. Police investigated the connection thoroughly, but no physical evidence emerged that placed either of them at the scene, and no witness statement tied either of them to the murder directly. Tips came in, but nothing produced an arrest. Raquel Harrison Jones told reporters years later that investigators had leads and that it was a waiting game. That waiting game has now run for more than 6 years without producing a single charge. This is where the story that started with a peace order signed on December 19th ends up. A cold case file, an unsolved entry in the Baltimore Police Department's homicide unit, and a mother who has been asking the same question in front of the same cameras every time a reporter calls to check in on the anniversary of the night her daughter did not come home. In July of 2024, when WANR 2 News revisited the case for the 4.5-year mark, they spoke directly to anyone in Baltimore who might know something. She said she hoped someone cared enough about her daughter, cared enough about all the mothers and all the children to step forward.
It has been 4.5 years since 21-year-old Destiny Harrison was killed inside of her own hair salon. No one has been arrested for the crime, and as detectives actively investigate, Destiny's mother has a plea for the community. WMER2 News' Jonathan Hunter spoke to Destiny's mom and has her story.
Destiny Harrison was a mom, a business owner, and someone who had her whole life ahead of her. In December of 2019, someone walked into her hair salon and shot her to death. As detectives actively investigate, Destiny's mom says if someone knows anything, to please come forward.
She was bright, she was innovative, she was skilled, smart, beautiful. She was a fashionista.
Raquel Harrison Jones is talking about her daughter, Destiny. She says Destiny was a perfect child growing up.
So loving, so kind, always wanting to help others, always wanting to help the community.
But on December 21st, 2019, everything changed. Baltimore police were dispatched to Madam D Beauty Bar on North Milton Avenue. Inside, they found Destiny suffering from a gunshot wound. She was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Police believe the suspect or suspects entered the salon and shot Destiny.
It was so many people in the salon that day. Nobody has came forth and said anything.
Prior to Destiny's murder, she feared for her life. She filed charges against a couple who she says beat and stole from her 12 days before her murder. Detectives are investigating the case, but to date, no one has been arrested in connection to her death.
They're actively working. They have some leads, and it's just a waiting game.
Raquel keeps her daughter's memory alive. At the time of Destiny's death, her daughter Dream was just 1 year old. She is now 5 and about to start kindergarten.
I just make sure I keep telling her about Destiny, keep showing her all Destiny's photo shoots, because her creativity was out the roof.
Plus, her legacy is continuing to be honored by the Destiny Harrison Dream Scholarship Fund. The scholarship is awarded to 10 girls every year who are in cosmetology school. For Raquel, she wants her daughter's legacy to live on. The Harrison Dream Scholarship Fund. The scholarship is awarded to 10 girls every year who are in cosmetology school. For Raquel, she wants her daughter's legacy to live on, but she also wants her daughter's killer to be caught.
I am hoping someone cares enough about her daughter, cares enough about all women, all mothers, all children to step forth and say something.
As of March 2026, the Homicide Unit still classifies the case as active and unsolved. No suspect has been publicly named. No charges have been filed. Destiny Harrison's killer remains free. Raquel Harrison Jones took custody of Dream immediately after the murder and has been raising her granddaughter ever since. She has kept Destiny present in Dream's daily life deliberately, keeping photographs of her mother around the house and telling the child about who Destiny was so that Dream grows up knowing her mother as a person before she is old enough to carry the full weight of the story of how she died. Dream was about to start kindergarten at the time of the WAMR 2024 update. She is now around 6 years old, growing up in the care of a grandmother who absorbed the grief of December 21st and still shows up for that little girl every single day. Gervonta Davis, the professional boxer from Baltimore, paid for Destiny's funeral. He did not have to. The gesture was received by the community as a specific acknowledgement of who Destiny was and what her loss meant. Not another entry in the city's homicide count, but a person whose absence was felt and whose family deserved to be supported through the worst of it.
Boxer and Baltimore native Gervonta Davis is paying for the funeral services of a 21-year-old woman shot to death inside her own hair salon. Destiny Harrison was killed when someone walked into Madam D Beauty Bar on Saturday and opened fire. Davis posted on Twitter Thursday asking how he could help. WJZ talked with Davis's coach, who confirms Davis has paid for Harrison's funeral.
The family held vigils in the months and years after the murder and has continued pushing publicly for answers, keeping Destiny's name in front of the city and framing her story consistently around who she was, a young entrepreneur who did everything right and was killed for it.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Eddie Kadam. We start tonight morning with the Northeast Baltimore family. Family and friends remember a 21-year-old mother and business owner who was shot in the head over the weekend. We were there for the vigil. WMAR 2 News' Aaron McPherson joins us with some new information about the case. Aaron?
Eddie, earlier in the week, we told you Destiny Harrison feared for her life days before she was shot and killed. Now, court documents, these one right here, show us that she says she was assaulted and burglarized earlier this month. And then today, we got new documents. This one, showing she filed a peace order, which is a form of a restraining order, against one of the people she says assaulted her. Tonight, police have not made any arrests for her death, but everyone is looking for answers. The entrance to the Madam D Beauty Bar, surrounded with balloons and candles. Just days before, the same area closed off with police tape and cruisers. This is where Destiny Harrison was shot and killed while she was working.
She with me, she ain't going nowhere.
Raquel Harrison is Destiny's mom.
Destiny just was a sweet person. She was ambitious. She just wanted to do what she loved. She wanted to do hair and be a mother.
Destiny was a new mother and the owner of the salon where she was gunned down.
It's unbelievable, you know, we didn't expect nothing like this to happen. You know, I mean, she's in her own shop doing what she's supposed to do. You know, living an honest life, her own business, and then bam, here goes something like this. You know, it's nonsense.
Shelly Williams says her cousin has been doing hair since she was a little girl.
She had a lot of clout with hair. She was real good with hair.
Family and friends spent the night sharing memories.
Is in the will of God.
As they try to get through this difficult time.
A struggle, a real big struggle. Struggling with my emotions, about thinking about my poor baby, not seeing her again, about the way she passed.
The family, there for each other and grateful for the support from the community.
It's all love. You know, it means a lot because I know Destiny would feel love and she would feel like people actually care.
The Destiny Harrison Dream Scholarship Fund was established in her memory and awards scholarships every year to 10 young women enrolled in cosmetology school, following the exact path Destiny walked when she was building toward her license and her salon.
Remembering Destiny Harrison, the mother and business owner who was shot and killed inside of her hair salon last December.
You know, she made this world prettier through hair, nails, and through the heart. And if you want to follow in her path, well, the path is yours through her scholarship. WMAR 2 News' Ray Strickland spoke to the family tonight.
Ray joins us in studio now. So Ray, Destiny's aunt told you that this is something that she really would have wanted, right?
Yes, exactly. She told me Destiny mentored aspiring beauticians, taught cosmetology classes, and always loved to give back. Now her aunt says Destiny will continue to do so, impacting the community with this scholarship.
Last time I was here, it was a very sad moment.
Destiny Harrison's aunt, Jennifer Ridley, is standing in front of her niece's hair salon for the first time since last December.
Every day is a hard day. Every day is a hurdle.
2 months ago, Harrison was shot and killed while working in her beauty shop. Still no arrests.
Someone knows something. If you know something, say something.
The salon, now a symbol of pain for Ridley and so many others, but it's also a symbol of what Harrison accomplished in a short time on this earth.
This is her legacy. This is her accomplishments. It's one of her greatest accomplishments.
And even though she's gone, her legacy will never die.
By providing scholarships.
Living on through a new scholarship in her honor called the Destiny Dream Scholarship, which will help 5 girls every year start their careers as hairstylists.
This fund will pay for 5 young women from Mervo High School to get their licensing exam, their cosmetology kit.
City Councilman Zeke Cohen helped create the scholarship. His office, with the help from the community, including barbers and beauticians across the city, will be pitching in to get it off the ground. Cohen says the fundraising goal is $5,000, adding winners will receive $1,000 each.
We believe that we are going to transform the pain that our community feels into something powerful.
She's still helping and she's not even here.
The gesture, a powerful one for Ridley and the rest of the Harrison family.
Wonderful, you know, because it's not every day that you have a tragedy and something so wonderful can come out of a tragedy, like giving to young children that's up and coming. You don't see that.
And Harrison's family worked with Councilman Cohen to help make this scholarship a reality. Now, Councilman Cohen says it's a part of the Healing City movement inspired by the Elijah Cummings Healing City Act. Cohen says the scholarship will launch on March 8th. That's when young women can start applying.
The scholarship is her ambition continuing outward. Her belief that cosmetology was a real career worth building extended through the next generation of women trying to do what she did. Raquel has spoken about it as part of Destiny's legacy, which is not about what was taken, it is about what she left. The Destiny Harrison case sits inside a pattern that Baltimore has been reckoning with publicly for years. A significant proportion of murders in the city go unsolved, and the victims most likely to appear in those cold case files are young Black residents in high-crime neighborhoods where the relationship between communities and law enforcement has been strained enough over long enough to slow the flow of information that homicide investigations depend on. Destiny had cooperated fully. She had named names, pressed charges, and obtained a court order. When she was shot in her own salon in front of witnesses in a neighborhood with surveillance cameras and an immediate police response, the case still could not be closed. The $4,000 reward was not enough to produce an arrest, and that tells you something about the environment that potential witnesses were operating in when deciding whether to come forward. Fear of retaliation from the people responsible is a rational calculation in communities where the legal system's ability to protect witnesses has documented limits. Destiny had made the calculation that reporting was worth the risk. She was wrong, not about what the right thing to do was, but about how much protection doing the right thing would actually provide. And the people who watched what happened to her, the shooting, the unsolved case, the years of silence, drew conclusions from it that will shape how people in that neighborhood respond the next time someone considers going to the police. May Destiny Deshaw Harrison rest in perfect peace. She was 21 years old, and she had earned a cosmetology license, opened a salon on North Milton Avenue, built a reputation that made her a face in Baltimore's beauty community, and was raising her daughter on her own while doing all of it.
We taking it in what style? Happy birthday to you. I need y'all to come on right now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to my sister Destiny. Yes, bitch. Happy birthday. Come on, brother, kill it one time for the one to time. You. It's a banger for real. It's a banger for real. It's a Somebody put a cake all on her stomach, yeah. It's
I
a
make my wish. Wish. Go ahead. Amen. Ain't not telling what. Don't say it.
Father God. In the
She was innovative, loving, and determined. She was shot to death in the business she had built for her child because she went to the police when her neighbors robbed and beat her, because she stood up for herself when the system offered her the tools to do so, and because whoever decided that her cooperation with law enforcement deserved a response has never stood in a courtroom for it. That is the specific injustice of this case. The person responsible for killing a 21-year-old mother has been free every single day for more than 6 years. Dream is growing up knowing who her mother was because Raquel made certain of it. She has photographs on the walls and stories she hears regularly, and a grandmother who has carried both the grief and the love through every year since December 21st, 2019. And every year, 10 young women in cosmetology school receive a scholarship in Destiny's name because Raquel Harrison Jones has refused to let her daughter's story end at a salon on a Saturday evening in December. It continues, through the girls following the path she blazed, through the child who carries her name forward, and through everyone who hears this story and decides to do something with what they know. Let me know what you think in the comments section below.